Most buyers think they lose money because of the market. Well, we've got a few mistakes buyers can actually make that cost them thousands. Stay tuned, we're gonna talk about it. Jennifer Gale Real Estate Team channel on YouTube. Like and subscribe, we need the subscribers. Comment in the description, or in the comments, yes, in the comments. Link is in the description.
There you go.
We have a really special guest today, Jennifer Gale herself. Cracked the damn Coke.
I've been bugging for this.
Yeah, she's thirsty. She even drank out of mine. So, today's a good one because there are a lot of mistakes buyers can make that just aren't market related.
Absolutely.
Obviously, you're going to lose money because of the market, but that's actually not the most important thing when buyers lose money in a deal.
Absolutely.
So today we're going to talk about what we see as the most common mistakes where buyers actually will lose. It could be thousands. It could be a lot. So we're just going to do three or four.
Okay.
And we're going to go back and forth, and we might not agree on all of them. We'll see.
Okay.
Okay. So you go first. Let's go the first. I'm going to say most important. Just what's a big thing buyers will actually lose money on, or it will cost them money that's not the market took a turn?
From my perspective, I would say going with an out-of-town realtor, and a realtor that doesn't understand the area, the logistics, location, prices, things that affect our local market.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had a few videos on that, like where, especially during COVID, where there was multiple offers, and I felt like an out-of-town agent couldn't see potentially, if that market corrected, the downfalls of where they pushed a buyer to buy.
Well, I think something that happens even behind closed doors, we were talking about it downstairs, is the out-of-town agents coming, and they're more concerned with the commission and not the buyer's best interest.
Yeah.
So we have, a cooperating commission, pretty standard in our area, not standard in every area. Every area operates differently. But we were talking about that deal and the agent coming and saying, I'll get you X amount if you pay me X amount. I am thinking, where is the buyer represented in that transaction? Because you're absolutely not working in the buyer's best interest, A, from coming out of town and doing the deal, but B, making that your primary focus. You're willing to have your buyer pay more money so you can pocket more money, and I think that that's a big distress.
On a corner lot, backing onto train tracks, and on a busy road like that, like they just don't care.
And the thing with local agents, like you and I do agree on this.
There's a few things.
We do agree on a few things, but most importantly, just the principle of I would never want to sell a buyer a property where I go back in a few years and I say, oh, you bought in a bad location. Oh, you overpaid for this, so you're not going to get X.
They call you, and it's like, it could be a job or it's something like, hey, Drew, we got to move.
Yeah.
What's our house worth?
And you can't resell the thing.
Yeah.
And so in those instances too, the agent, local agents coming up and cleaning up a mess, and the buyer actually loses. They're out thousands of dollars from location, not pointing out things that will be a problem for resale. So a lot of things can go wrong with that, and I would just be cautious of somebody that's willing to travel that far to negotiate a deal. Why aren't you building a business in your local area and be so busy in that pocket? So that would be a buyer beware.
Yeah. Okay, we agree. That's
we
a good
do
one.
agree
That's a good
on that one.
That might be top, potentially, because that, depending on the market and when you bought, like that could be hundreds of thousands of dollars, literally.
And the only time I'll make a caveat on that is if the agent grew up and that's their hometown, they understand the streets, their friends and family are still there, so they understand the market. But I would say that's like a 1%.
Yeah, rare.
Yeah.
Okay. Numero deux.
Okay. What did I think? Oh, I think it sometimes is when buyers come into a property and they are looking and bring a third party in and get into their mind that they have to do all these massive upgrades to a property, especially in starter homes. A starter home always will have its lifespan, but going in and dropping a whole bunch of money because their uncle said that the kitchen would do well, I think that you need to get into a home, understand it, live in it, and then start slowly. Like you should be in a home maybe 5 years. But getting into a place and doing all those expensive renos that aren't even going to get you the return on it, I think is a mistake.
Yeah, like my comment to buyers when you're in a house that's maybe dated or whatever is like, is it livable? Like, can you live here? It's not like holes in the wall and it's dirty and it's just things are falling apart. Like, dated is fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to, like we say, a 10 or 15-year-old furnace is fine.
Yeah.
Just because the inspector said, well, it's at the end of its life, doesn't mean it's literally at the end of its life. Like you can like use it till it doesn't work.
I just watched a news story, and I never watch news, but
Warren's job.
Yeah, it is Warren's job. A gentleman, I think it was Whitby, had the longest furnace life. And did you see it?
No, it was like 69 60 years. Yeah, it was
69
ridiculous.
years. And I always in my opinion, if it's not broke, live it to its lifespan.
You don't have to get rid of it if it works. Yeah, like if it doesn't work, that's one thing. If it works, maybe not as efficient, but like, hey, $50 extra on a monthly bill because it's not efficient is way better than like $5,000 right out of the gate.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's $50 extra a month.
No,
it might be 30.
It could be, yeah, like maybe not even that. Like,
and by the grace of God, too, feeling that pressure, like, oh my gosh, we got to get a new furnace, and then going and getting a rental furnace and AC.
That's going to be a video at some point. Rentals of appliances and stuff is just...
It's a danger zone.
Yeah. Well, okay, I agree on that too.
Wow.
Shockingly, yeah, it's 2 for 2. You're rolling. This is maybe a little markety, but let's talk about waiting.
Oh,
Does that cost the buyer money?
Absolutely.
And so give me an example.
Well, I think that for a buyer, the moment that you're approved and you understand and you can get into the market is the time that you should get into the market, because for 20 years, how many times have you heard buyers saying, I'm just going to wait, my dad says the market's going to crash. And then, markets all have cyclical times, but you have to stay, I think that, buying a property with the idea, to stay in it for a year, don't do that.
Yeah.
Your lifespan in a real estate should always be 5 years, because in 5 years, that's where you're break even and starting to, and that 5 years takes into accordance what could happen in the market. So you'll be at a place where you're going to be profitable. So anytime that you can get into the market, I'm cautious of times like COVID. Do I think that that was a great time to get into the market? Not necessarily, but you have to have proper guidance to talk to you and say, like, maybe we should wait this out here because that was a false market. We might never see that market again. But in traditional real estate, you should always just get into the market when you can get into the market.
Yeah, and I think I've actually got an example currently, and I've got a few couples looking for bungalows that are in the middle fives, low fives, middle fives, perfect world. And I think back in the fall, a lot of them were, $5.25, $5.50. You could get a really good bungalow in a good area.
Yeah.
Now that I've started to show them, we'd won an Ingersoll that went to multiple offers and actually ended up, it was listed at 580, went for 607.
Yeah.
And now if something down the street lists, they're going to be looking at comparables at 607. So maybe they were originally thinking 590. Now they're going to list it 610, 6099. So if those people had waited, well, let's say the people in the fall were like,
Yeah.
You know, the 525, but I still think the market's going down. So let's wait through the winter and the prices will really bottom out. Well, like they haven't.
Here's the major misconception on that too, with waiting for the market. So a great mentor taught me this, and now that I've been able to see it, you will never ever know when the market has bottomed out until prices start going up.
Yeah.
That is the only time. So you're never going to be able to time it. And so typically we think that when interest rates lower, it's going to increase the market, and same psychology. Buyers won't jump in and start buying psychologically until they start seeing rates increase a little bit. That will actually drive the market. So be very cautious of that. You know, just get in when you can, have a 5-year plan, you know, maybe 4, whatever happens in life, but just go in with that psychology.
What do you think about relatives giving their opinions on price and what their niece and nephew should be paying for houses when we're on showings and they bring family? Does that cost buyers money?
1,000%.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's the same, we'll call it like dating. You know, you date somebody new, you have all the feelings and everything's there, but then you start calling your best friend, you call your brother, you bring the guy in to meet some of your other friends, and you're getting all these outside opinions, and it taints the view of it. But a great example of that is, you know, my parents bought a house in LaSalle on Ream Road, my favorite house, ranch, beautiful, grew up there. They bought it, like I'm gonna guess, in 1980. Interest rates were 18%, you know, the real estate horror stories. They paid $76,000 for that home. I don't need my dad's opinion on price for something in 2026.
Yes.
You know, and my mom now lives in a seniors building, and when I go and all the people commiserate around, and they know I sell real estate, I'm like, oh, Jen, what do you think about the market? I'm like, well, the market's really good. We sell a lot of real estate, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, the price down the street. And I'm thinking, you haven't been in the real estate market in 15 years.
If my inside voice could talk sometimes.
But you have to make sure that you're getting opinions from qualified people. We all have opinions. I have a lot of opinions on things I know nothing about, you know, and whether I choose, but I'm not like a professional to give you accounting advice. I'm for sure not the person that should give you any medical advice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean,
it's the same deal. You wouldn't come to me if you were sick and some stuff was going on in your body and come to me and be like, oh, well, Jen said I should take some vitamin D and it will clear it up. It's the same as going to outside for real estate. You have to talk to the pros.
Yeah, I've had people, clients, friends, I mean, maybe not even clients at the point, but they're talking about something, and, you know, with certain people you can say things you're thinking, right?
Yeah.
Like, and they don't take it. Like, so sometimes I'm just like, what do you talk? Like, what do you know? You don't know anything. You don't know what you're talking about.
And I
do this daily.
And it's a challenge too, because, you know, you're bringing in your family and you want them to be excited. Same as dating.
Yeah, and you can't
you respect their opinions, and you don't want, and especially with parents, we all want to make our parents proud. So we're unconsciously doing things that my dad thought it was a good idea, but they're just not educated in the market, and some are. So that's not a blanket statement to everybody, but we have a lot of armchair experts in our industry that perhaps are not.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a past client just not that long ago, and he's, if he's watching, he knows who he is. He's what's it, the app, House Sigma, addict, right? So the second I sell something, he's texting me. He's like, oh, hey, you got good money for that one, eh? And I'm like, what do you do? Dude, you just moved into your house. What are you doing? He's like, oh, I just, you know.
And then on the flip side of that, the same parents, maybe you sell the house or don't, the same parents want you come in and price their home. The market may say it's 600,000, and the same said parents will be like, well, no, the market's increased. I think it's 950.
Yeah.
And you're like, where?
Yeah, so you're pulling that out of your ass? Like, I mean, it's not reality. Okay, so to sum up.
We've agreed on everything.
It's kind of a, we're supposed to disagree on things, but you must be really smart. So.
Can you say that louder for the cameras?
You're really smart. Not going to be a long vid. We just, I think there's a misconception where buyers really only lose money because the market went down. Well, that's not the case. Like, there's just a lot of factors that we talked about today. Out-of-town agent that doesn't know the area, so they're making you.
I have one more I want to throw on. I'm not done yet.
Let's see if I agree. Okay. You're usually the one that's like, let's go.
Using a realtor that is only relying on realtor.ca to find homes.
Yeah, okay, explain that. So, like, obviously got to be an out of board.
Okay, so there's several factors that go into that. Now, our boards are, amalgamated, and we don't have access to all the other boards. So you need to have an agent that's equipped with all of the listings. But also, you want to go with somebody that has a little bit of a book of business that will be able to, just like you just did, real estate matchmaking, right? So we have that blessed, here we have a database with 25,000 people in our database and, 50 plus agents working here. Well, all of those people are talking to sellers and people that they know would sell their home if the opportunity was right.
That 2 years, the one you're talking about with me was 2 years ago.
I know you've talked about it since the day you joined the team, and being able to have access maybe to some properties that are not on the market, being able to get a gem that's actually the perfect fit for them and be able to not be in competition to go through the process. So there's you want to ask those questions. What is your access to inventory that I'm not seeing?
Yeah, and we get people, the longer you're in it, you get the wheeler dealers that are always going to us saying, well, if you ever got a buyer for my place, let me know. And some of them are legit, they would.
Absolutely, but they don't want to go through the hassle of selling the home. They don't want their neighbors to know. There's just so many, and over the course of time, I could call your wife and say, I know Drew's opposed to it, but I know you want to move. Would you be open to entertaining an offer from me?
Don't do that, because if the right place came along, she would actually probably jump at it.
I would actually do that.
You probably would. You probably write up the deal and take the commission.
And this is where we start disagreeing.
Exactly.
Cheers.
Cheers. There you go. So that's actually a pretty good episode. This is a good one. This is we call it an evergreen video where somebody can reference this years and years down the line. So Jennifer Gale Real Estate Team, let's go. Let's get some traction. Thanks. Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.